I once again apologize for any background noise, but today I want to talk about the difference between politics affecting your morals and your morals affecting your politics, and how, in reality, your morals should always affect your politics and not the other way around. And I talk about this because some people will align themselves with a political side or something like this. This could be anywhere in the world. In America, for example, I will not hide the fact that I am more liberal. I would align myself more closely with the Democrats than the Republicans in the United States. Although I'm not sure if I 100% line up with the Democrats. I feel like each individual person, if you took all of their values and everything that they support and believe in, will be very unique in that way, and no one really 100% aligns with each party. But in this case, I feel like the Republicans in government are letting their politics affect their morals, and even some of the voters too, which is an issue, thinking that a certain minority group shouldn't have as many rights as others. A big example is trans people in sports, and I do understand there could be a competitive disadvantage or advantage, but I saw a number that said the Trump campaign spent $250 million in advertising against trans women in sports, and when he got that bill passed to keep them out of college level sports, it only affected 10 people out of the thousands that have to be in college level sports, or hundreds at least. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous, you know? I mean, I would understand of not wanting to have people who were born as men and transitioned into women. They could genuinely have an advantage because of just that's how biology is, but after time, hormones could change. Now, I'm not an expert on the fact. I'm not, or any of these subjects. So if I'm wrong, please just correct me, and then I'll, do further research and anything like that. But and this video isn't about that. It's about morals and politics. But there are people who dislike the people who are trans or dislike people who are LGBT or anything like that just because they voted for someone who doesn't support that and their friends don't support that. When in reality, if you step back and you just look at the fact, let's just say your best friend who could be a straight person, let's just say they were homosexual now, and that was the only difference. Still the same person, but now they just like to do different things in bed in privacy. That shouldn't be as big of a deal as people make it out to be. It's always behind closed doors. It's not like it's a big issue. I mean, 666. Wow, look at that. But I don't really understand how you could let your politics affect that in such a way that just because of one little minor difference in their character, you can't like them anymore just because you vote for someone who doesn't like them, or you're in groups that wouldn't accept that. It doesn't really make any sense. And really, you should take a step back from all of that and look objectively at what you believe in and what your morals are, and let that affect what your politics are. And I say that in such a way that I feel like you can just decide for yourself who to vote for instead of having your parents decide or your friends decide or anything like that. And it doesn't. There's more than just two options. And there's more than just Republican, Democrat in the United States. In other nations, they have multiple parties, which sometimes having too many parties can be an issue. Which I acknowledge that, but I feel like there is definitely a better number than two to have, because there needs to be more middle ground, because right now we just have two extremes and it's really dividing our nation, and people are letting their politics affect their morals, which is why you know which is why the nation's so divided, because people are letting their politics affect their morals, and our two parties are so divided. If there were more parties that could fix that issue, but really people should just not let their politics affect their morals, let their morals affect their politics. Think of it in such a way, like in my morality, taking morals, not economic sense or anything like that, just pure morality. Let's talk about the immigration issue. Someone who gets deported away from the family because they were an illegal immigrant, I feel like it would be better to enforce them taking the steps to citizenship instead of just, kicking them out. Get out of my country. Rah, rah, rah. I'd rather have them take the steps to citizenship and be given and create maybe uh, a new title, I guess would be the word, a new status of you are illegal in there, but you can only have the status for a certain amount of time until you can get your citizenship. And you could argue people have been here for years, they've gotten their citizenship. That's true. But that's because if by that point, if they say, hey, I haven't had my citizenship for a long time, and being an illegal immigrant, yes, I know is obviously illegal. I mean, it's in the name, all right? They are breaking the law. So there is that in the equation. But just taking on morality, I wouldn't want somebody to be separated from their friends and family or where they work and where they live, because that's their home now. I would rather give them the chance to fight for it, to keep it. Let them let them try to gain that trust and citizenship that they desire. And so, in my opinion, I would rather vote for a Democrat on that issue than a Republican, because that keeps them where they feel more safe, where they feel more homely, and where they give them a chance to earn that citizenship or that visa or whatever they need to do to stay in the nation and be a good citizen. They just need to give them a real chance to do that. Where am I right now, man? Anyway, but going back to the morals, that's why I would vote for a Dem on that issue than a Republican. And there could be a morality saying, hey, they're doing there are definitely some illegal immigrants doing bad things in the nation. And I'm not going to say they're all saints. They're definitely not all saints. Not all citizens are saints. In a perfect world, everybody would be happy and we'd all. That is insane. Wow, Cyberpunk's crazy. Anyway, if everything was perfect, we wouldn't have this issue at all. But unfortunately, it's not perfect. But taking just morality, I would rather them stay here and give them the chance to earn their keep than to just kick them out immediately, doing raids on them. I'd rather give them a special status, say it lasts for a year or 6 months or whatever time it needs to be for them to earn their keep and get their citizenship, and so that way they can keep their jobs here, and because they do have jobs in restaurants and things like that, or even higher positions, of course. But I know some restaurants around where I live even have probably illegal immigrants working there, and I wouldn't want to see them lose their jobs and things like that just because they couldn't go through the steps to get citizenship, or they're given the chance to go through those steps to get the citizenship. And then maybe after a certain period of time they still neglect it, then it would make sense to just take them out. But they deserve a chance instead of just being deported to Guantanamo Bay, which I don't know how factual that is, but I've heard it is a deportation camp. That doesn't sit right with me. But of course I haven't researched it myself too thoroughly, so I'm not going to make any claim on that. But I don't know. That's just my opinion on, I feel like, morality. I got this idea from a commenter in a previous video, call him Jack. But yeah, I just feel like your morality should affect your politics, not the other way around, because that way I feel like the world would be a slightly better place for it, and politics should not affect your morals. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Bye bye.